Hey everybody, welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Anson and I am a med student and I'm currently taking my second gap year. And today I'm going to be sharing with you all sorts of ideas and things you can do during your gap year. Now, if you don't know what a gap year is, essentially it's where you take a year out. Most people take it straight after high school to figure out what they want to do and pursue. You can also use it to travel, to make money and save up for college, or even to take a break from studying or from work and to just recharge and look after your mental health. So I had my first gap year coming out of college. I had 8 months between graduating high school and starting university, and now I am on my second one throughout my second and third years of medical school. And long story short, that was because of COVID. And yeah, during my first gap year I learned so much, and as sappy as it sounds, I got to do lots of self-reflecting and maturing, and I feel it definitely prepared me for university better, because I went into uni feeling very ready and excited to learn and to meet people. And without further ado, let's get into it. Now, number one is to travel to Europe, and you can do this through interrailing, which is basically where you take a train to and from different cities. Now, I personally haven't gone interrailing, but I did get to go to Europe during my gap year, and one of the places I got to go to were Spain, which at that point had been one of my dreams, one of my absolute dreams for the past 6 years at that point. So yeah, I really enjoyed that trip and had such an amazing time. Number two is to travel to Southeast Asia. Southeast Asia is so beautiful. There are so many things to do and see, not to mention it is super budget friendly. Also, the food is amazing. Number three is to become a ski instructor, and there are so many different places you can do this, including Canada, Austria, Japan, Australia, even in the winter months. Number four is to become a surfboard dive instructor, and I actually have a friend who is working as a dive instructor on her gap year right now. Number five, start tutoring. This is a great way to make some money and to get teaching experience. And it's also great if you haven't decided what you want to do throughout your year, because it's not a year-long contract. You can pretty much also choose the days and times where you work, so it's super flexible. Number six, learn a new language. Number seven, do a short course. There are these things called MOOCs, which are, I can't remember what they stand for, something online course, open online course maybe. Basically, MOOCs are free online classes available to anyone, and there are literally courses and classes about all sorts of topics. There are also a ton of sites that offer these, so be sure to check them out. Now, number eight is to discover new hobbies or rediscover your old ones. You can sew, you can read, write, paint, try out calligraphy, cross-stitching, a new sport, literally anything. Number nine, go on a working holiday. Again, there are a lot of different countries where you can do this. I've met someone in Australia and in Spain who were on working holidays. It's a great way to learn about that country's culture and language, and it's also a great way to explore the country and decide if it's somewhere you want to study, work, or live in. Number 10 is Workaway. Now, Workaway is a company that allows you to stay with a host in over 170 countries. Basically, you're expected to help out for a few hours, and in exchange they give you food, accommodation, and some hosts will even give you a minimum wage salary. But of course, that depends on the host and what you're helping them out with. This is another great way to get immersed into the culture of the country, and it's without having to spend much money at all. And to do this, I think you just need to pay for your flights there and back, and you're good to go. Number 11, if you like kids and want some experience teaching, you can apply to be an education assistant or even a sports assistant at your old high school or other schools in your local community. Alternatively, you can teach English to kindergarten students in your local area, or you can go abroad and do this. Places that do this usually offer you food, accommodation, and a decent salary. And I'm pretty sure all you need is an IELTS or a TOEFL English course certificate. Number 13, volunteer. Again, you can do this locally or abroad. It's a great way to give back to your community. I'm sure they could use the help, but if you do decide to go abroad and do this, I would just say to be careful and to not work with children, because often having short-term visitors give them attachment problems and leaves them in a vulnerable position afterwards. So yeah, instead of that, you can work on conservation projects by working with animals or by planting trees. You can also help build toilets, stoves, drainage systems, things like that. Number 14, you can get an internship. Now, you can do this within the field you're currently interested in, or branch off and do something completely different to broaden your horizons. If you're med like myself, you can do med internships in places like Romania or even some places in Africa where you shadow nurses or healthcare professionals in their community. I personally did something locally. I got to shadow a doctor that specialized in aesthetic medicine, so they did lots of cosmetic procedures, but I also learned a lot of other things, like the fact that you can use Botox to relieve migraines. So yeah, I found it really interesting. Number 15, do a deep declutter and give away or sell the things you no longer need or barely use. In other words, Marie Kondo the heck out of your room. Number 16, get a PT, Pilates or yoga certification. Number 17 is to become an au pair in a different country. Now this is a great way to combine wanting to experience a different country and if you're wanting to work with kids. Au pair is basically a fancy name for being a nanny. How it typically works is you live with the host family and you care for their children. In exchange, they give you a room and a weekly salary. So again, you would just be responsible for paying for your flight there and back, although hosts are encouraged to pay for your flights. Number 17 is to house or dog sit. Now, house sitting is not as glamorous as you would expect because you are expected to do everything to upkeep and maintain the house. So sure, it'll save you on rent, but you'll need to be paying for everything else. I do think they give you some sort of salary. I just don't know how much. I guess it depends on the area and also the owner of the house. Now number 18 is to become a camp counselor abroad. Now this is more of a summer thing, but it's pretty good because you can pick one that is just 4 weeks or you can pick one that is 12 weeks long. So it's completely up to you and the country you pick. Number 19 is to work at a farm. In Australia, there are seasonal jobs where you can do some farm work for them. Usually this means fruit picking, so lychee, mango, bananas, passion fruit, berries. The list goes on. Now I've actually looked into it and the pay is really good and accommodation is provided for you, and oftentimes the accommodation comes with a shared kitchen. This is a great way to see a new country or even area, and it's especially great if you are looking for an active job or if you're wanting to experience the rural lifestyle. Number 20 is to sail around the world as a volunteer crew member. Now I personally couldn't do this, but if you decide to, it is a great way to see the world and accommodation is provided for you as well as food, but yeah, not everyone can do it. Number 20, if you think you have a knack for photography, you can start taking pictures and posting them online to try to sell them or to start trying to book gigs. Number 21, you can start making music and you can even share it if you want to. Number 22, try out for modeling, why not? I think I'm on 23 or 24 now. You can start making art and sharing that. Number 24 or 5, you can start YouTube during a gap year, I did. And number 26 is to start a business and to become an entrepreneur. Number 27, get a job locally and start making some money. There are so many things you can do and it can literally be anything. It doesn't have to be related to your field. You can try waiting tables, working in retail, working at a bakery, at a pizza shop, at a bookstore, as a receptionist, or even in an office if you like. And working locally is great, especially if you aren't sure about going overseas yet or don't have the money to do so. You also don't have to worry about arranging flights, accommodation, or rent. And so yeah, this is a great way to make money and save it for later. Number 28, you can learn to cook. Number 29 is to explore your area and do all the things you've been meaning to do. And lastly, but definitely not least, number 30 is to reconnect with your family and research your heritage. Alright guys, that is all I had for today's video, but I hope you found that really useful. If you did, be sure to like, comment and subscribe and hit that notification bell down below because I do make videos every Thursday, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!